Shalom, Kala Alayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, that Ruval, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect. Alright, you brothers and you few sisters that take heed, alright, in sincerity and in truth. Getting down, straight into it. I was looking up, this is from BibleTruthPublishers.com, right? And they have different topics, right, on the scriptures, right? So you can look up different things and it'll list scriptures, and it's pretty much almost like a dictionary. Manners and Customs of the Bible is the title of it. But, I was looking up this thing here on goat worship, and I found some interesting information, that I wanted to bring out to the Spirit. Right, so it says, Leviticus 17:7, they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto the devils. Right, now when you read that scripture, it says here, and in 2 Chronicles 11:15, rendered devils is derived from a word signifying hairy, shaggy, rough, from which it is used to designate he-goats. The Egyptians worshipped the goat under the name of Mendes, and that's why you have a thing called the goat of Mendes, right? You diligent brothers and sisters, right? You can go out and research about the goat of Mendes. That's a whole topic within itself. That's the whole origin of this Baphomet goat, androgynous spirit. Right before Baphomet, there was the goat of Mendes. Right, it says the Egyptians worshipped the goat under the name of Mendes, by which name a province in Egypt was called. The goat was worshipped as a personification of the fructifying power of nature and was reckoned among the 8 principal gods of Egypt. A splendid temple was dedicated to Mendes, and statues of the god were erected in many places. The Israelites doubtless learned the worship of the serum among the Egyptians. It was accompanied with the vilest acts of bestiality, right? And Jake is doing that yet again today. Now let's go to Leviticus 17:7, and this is very interesting, right? It says, and they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. Now, lo and behold, when you look up the word devils here, the word is sha'ayar, right? Which is basically hairy. It says he-goat, right? Look at down here, it says satire may refer to a demon-possessed goat, like the swine of Gadara. All right, and this is the same word that is used Genesis 27:11. Esau, my brother, is a hairy man. So you're gonna find out what. Now, hold on one sec before I lose my train of thought. Now, when we look up this word devils, for example, Psalms 106:37. Right, it's been glitching. It doesn't click and doesn't go to the verse I want. Okay. Now the word here is shad, which means demon. Root etymology, shawad, to ruin, destroy. That's what a demon does. All right, to spoil, devastate. So 2 different words, right? That's why, man, what a blessing, man, when the apostles told us years ago to look up things, look up words. I was watching the Apostles' Stream Ministry last week, and the Apostle of the Heart said, I forgot what word he looked up in the video. I think it was in Isaiah book of Isaiah, but he said he looked up. It was Sodom, right, which means burnt. You know. So he said he never looked up. So it's good to look up things, man. You can find things. You know, you can get more information and edification, right? But that's that point. Okay. So now you're gonna understand why, or you should understand. Not you're going to why Yahushua mentioned about the sheep, right? Matthew's 25. And this is in red letter. This is Yahushua. Let's go. Matthew's 25:31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, right? And that goes into righteousness as well, because the Lord is a separatist, right? The book of Deuteronomy 32, if I'm not mistaken, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people, right? So there's divisions, right? Just because most nations, basically all nations had color, right? They were all dark, right? But they weren't of the same kin, you know? They were divided. You had Noah, his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and then you had further divisions, right? You had other nations spring forth. Moab and Ammon didn't come forth until Lot, right? Which was down the line. You already had nations back then, right? So nations were springing forth, and it was all division, you know? As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left, you know? And the characteristics of Esau, his hair is rough, hairy. He is a hairy he's a hairy person himself, you know? A beast man, the wild man, right? You can look up the wild men of Wartburg, the legend of the wild men, right? So that goes into the physical, but remember their god is a goat, the he goat. Well, really, it's a he she. On this side, it's an androgynous. It's complete madness. It's at the we're at the bottom of the scum, you know. We're at the bottom of the pot. And that's the point there. So now you should begin to understand, right? Now this is from a book. Let me get the cover. Entitled. Hold on. It's not letting me. There we go. Masonic and Occult Symbols, illustrated by Dr. Kathy Burns. Right? Copyright 1998. So I'm going to go. Where was that? Page 52. So down here. Let's start here, right? It says, since we have been informed by several times by Masonic authors that the inverted or satanic pentagram refers to the goat of Mendes, which is not this one, right? This one right here. This is the inverted pentagram. Inverted means it's pointing downwards, right? Let's take a look at what this goat represents. In a dictionary of symbols, we notice that the he goat is associated with the devil. Mendes was an Egyptian god resembling Pan. And what time? What are we in right now? You have the LGBT, you had the flamers, you had their time. Now you got the bis, then you have the transformers, right? Now really it's all pansexuality. Where does that go back to? The god Pan, right? It's nothing new. Oh, this amazing free spirit and energy and all this madness about, oh, I'm spiritual, oh, the universe, right? It's all the same garbage, man. It's all the same filth. Okay? It's all the same fucking rubble. All right, that's going to be burnt up. All right? It's from the ancient world, right? In a dictionary, right? Associated with the devil, Mendes was an Egyptian god resembling Pan. He was worshipped in the form of a goat, right? And here's an illustration of Pan. And you know, if you people don't understand why this whole goat thing is so big now, right? The word goat existed prior to the last 5 years. When did this shit blow up? The acronym GOAT, greatest of all time. And you don't know you're being played, man. You know? That's why this dude, I seen Lil Pump, I think it was Lil Pump or one of these degenerates. He was in a Lamborghini eating lamb, and then he actually had a lamb. You know, it was a lamb, not a goat. You know? And then you had this other dude cuz he had this other dude, Kevin Hart. I think he gave a goat as a gift to I forget who it was, another comedian who came back. All these goat references, pictures of goats, you know. People will bring out goats. You don't understand what's happening. You guys think it's just literally the acronym, greatest of all time. You're a goat. You're a goat. Got even women talking about, I'm a goat, greatest woman of all time. This is all witchcraft, man. This English is new English, new speak. All right. There's a lot of witchcraft, a lot of occult terminology that's being used in everyday language, everyday terminology, everyday dialogues, right? But let's go back. One witchcraft organization, Knew It Unlimited Imports, sells a Goat of Mendes t-shirt. They mention that this goat is also known as Baphomet. An occult catalog mentions that Baphomet is the traditional symbol of pagans, witches, Satanists, and mystics. The Dictionary of Mysticism admits Baphomet, quote, in occultism, the Sabbatic goat in whose form Satan was said to be worshipped at the witches' Sabbath. Right? Now, I wanted to bring out one more thing. Right, this is Baphomet. As you see, he's androgynous. You know, there's a lot of references that we always bring out. He has breasts, but he's a man. You know, he's pointing upwards and below, which symbolizes as above, so below. You know, there's a rod, the staff of Caduceus with the serpents, I believe. Right? And this is the demon that who said he's seen this? Was it Aleister Crowley, if my memory serves me right? Right? It says the goat is one of the symbolical animals of Hermetic magic. That's another term. Hermetics, the school of Hermeticism. Right? That's what Crowley was all about. Says Levi, and it is the symbol of generation. In a book on witchcraft, the complete book of witchcraft and demonology, we find a picture of Baphomet. The caption states that he is the homed god of the witches, symbol of sex incarnate. This picture, by the way, shows Baphomet making the devil's triad with his right hand. Starhawk, a witch, boasts the god of the witches is sexual, right? And that's why these devils, they're all into what? Perverseness, right? They're all into depravity. You know, when you watch that movie, The Good Shepherd, right? Which the whole premise of that movie was the boy who basically, he was the son of a top admiral, who he was in the Skull and Bones. His father was a bonesman, so he joined the Skull and Bones, right? When he joined the Skull and Bones, he was initiated, and in the ceremony they showed all the initiates wrestling in mud, but it was really supposed to be shit, feces. And the members already, they were on the balcony, smoking cigars, drinking, and one of the dudes started pissing on Matt Damon in the movie, and he got pissed off and he walked away. But that's the least of it. That was like PG, you know. There's an explicit real version that happens, right, when these ceremonies take place. What is that? Bohemian Grove, right? Who was it? Nixon? President Nixon, if I'm not mistaken, he said that's one of the most goddamn faggoty things I've ever been to, right? He said that's one of the most. I'm not even gonna say it, but basically you catch the drift, right? He said that was one of the most depraved things he's been to, so no wonder you have all this sexuality being pumped out every day in society, to where prepubescent men or prepubescent boys and girls, which it's almost a crime to say that now because you're misgendering them. So you brothers enjoy that while you can. We're not going to be able to say that soon, right? But prepubescent boys and girls, right, they're being flooded with sexuality and all kinds of depravity and degeneracy, that they have to deal with in their conscience, and it messes them up. It plays with them, right? So this is being pushed at a high level, man. That's why you brothers, right, when you come in this truth, it's sweet, it's honey. Ooh, that good sugar, man. That shit sweet as a motherfucker. That shit is sweet. Very, very sweet. Very good, man. Almost can't get enough until that bitter, right? Until that sucker, that liver punch, man, that gut, right, sucks all the air out of you. You almost don't see it coming. You feel like shit. Start catching hell, right? You're being tested. The truth and wisdom is testing you, and you find out, oh, this is what it means to be, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, right? Against basically top wickedness on the planet, man. You're in a spiritual war. You didn't even know. You just got jabbed, you got crossed, right? You got a right hook to the body. You got a leg kick, before you could even defend. Right? But as you maintain in this truth, you keep your faith, you pray, right? You do the things in the will of the Father and of the Son. The Most High and the Son, they work with you, man. Right? So let's continue. It says, but sexuality, right? So he said the god of the witches is sexual, but sexuality is seen as sacred, not as obscene or blasphemous. Right? It says our God wears horns, but they are the waxing and waning crescents of the goddess moon, and the symbol of animal vitality. In some aspects he is black, not because he is dreadful or fearful, but because darkness and the night are times of power and part of the cycles of time. And that's what we tell you niggas out there, man. You're not black. All right? Oh, I'm black. Oh, he's yellow. That guy's white. Yo, man. You guys are bugged out. You people are bugged out, man. You see what black represents? Void of light, man. Just nothing. All right. And their power is from the darkness, man. Yes, their power is of the darkness, right? But guess what? Our God is the God of the living, not of the dead. We're the children of light, man. Okay? So check this out, man. The God of the witches is the God of love. This love includes sexuality, which is also wild and untamed, as well as gentle and tender. His sexuality is fully felt in a context in which sexual desire is sacred, not only because it is the means by which life is procreated, but also because it is the means by which our own lives are most deeply and ecstatically realize. In witchcraft, sex is a sacrament, an outward sign of an inward grace. Anyway, that was pretty much the point on the goat. All right. And like I said, this goes back to Mendes, which was in Egypt. But all these gods, really, they go back to the old mystic, right, occult schools of Babylon, right? The Babylonians, because they were the ones who carried that old, knowledge from the old world, from the pre-flood world, right? Brothers have to remember there's a pre-flood world, and that knowledge of wickedness that was carried, that was somewhat kept through the Babylonians. Then the Babylonians, right? You had, the Chaldees. They were the top witches. They were the Magi's and the warlocks of the Babylonians, and that was known as the ancient Babylonians. You had also a Neo-Babylonian Empire, which was a time of 586 BC, around that time, right? But after the Babylonians, you had Sumeria. I'm not gonna wing it. Sumer, was it Sumer? I believe, Sumer, and then it traveled to Egypt, right? That whole fertile crescent, the Levant, right? But Egypt was the next great school of occultism, because it was in power. But Egypt fell as well. But all these different kingdoms, right? The Assyrians, the translated, the Persians, they all got they all conquered lands, and they pretty much remixed the the gods of that land into their own ways, into their own tongue. All right, but anyway, I hope you're edified with that. I want to say Kah halalim le'Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Recha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and who teach well, and salutations and blessings unto you elect Akim and Akwatim. Shalom.